Jerry Westoler, citizen of Banning. It is written, know the truth and the truth will set you free. And what I'm going to deal with is just facts tonight. Number one, I think it has merit that I had to recuse myself because of comments I had written to the local paper concerning the project that seemed to be prejudicial against the project. I think Mr. Moyer's letter dated March 25th, 2014 has merit that he was prejudiced for the project. And I think the honorable thing for him to do is recuse himself. The other thing...
I wasn't a city council.
The other thing is, from firsthand knowledge, when I met Mr. Ashley and thanked him for coming up with the money for the Sunset Project, when I went to thank him, the first thing he said to me is he did not get involved in local politics, but yet he both endorsed candidate and Councilman George Moyer, and he came out speaking for him. So in my mind, I'm suspect, knowing that we've had so many county projects in Banning already. And that is personal, firsthand testimony from myself. The other things I'd like to point out is I know that a lot of you have not worked in law enforcement. I've worked in law enforcement for over 20 years. I don't like giving my pedigree, but I have stayed on state advisory councils on what to do with gangs in Los Angeles, and I have the credentials to back that up. I've advised them on what to do with gangs after working with gangs in Los Angeles for 10 years. And I will tell you, thank you to AB 109 and both the grand jury of this county of Riverside and the LA Times have both vindicated everything that I said to this council last year. And as a result of that, our current stats show homicides up 200%, rape up 73%, robbery up 44%, assaults up 28%, and burglary 15%, and that's just for Banning. Now, the perception of a parole office downtown is not just a perception, it's a reality. All you have to do, and if any one of you would like to get up with me at 5:30 in the morning, we'll come down here to 8th and Ramsey and we'll see what the county does when they let people out of jail and where they hang out and what they do. Because they don't have any money to take the bus out of town. They don't have any money to hire a cab. Most of them don't have any transportation. So guess what they do? They begin to loiter around our businesses. The other things I would like to point out to you is a little timeline. On 10/13, well, let's go to March 13, when we changed the zoning code for the government buildings in Banning, so that it used to be that no government buildings were allowed this close downtown. Then 10/13, Veneer creates the Banning Office Ventures, LLC. Then 12/13, former city manager Dakota creates and signs a letter that violated the terms of the sales agreement. And remember, I sat on the council, so I have a copy of the original agreement. So he allowed Perlman to change the proposed hotel for an office building. In January 2014, Riverside County Supervisors awarded the Banning Office Ventures to LSC a lease for county probation department, a lease which required a 1,500 square foot building. Ironically, Banning Office Ventures LLC received a lease from the county when they did not hold title to the property, a violation of the county's RFP and specifically section 19.14 title. Maybe this is why Veneer is worried about being sued. I don't know. Bottom line, the project has been delayed for many years. And when I was here just a month or so ago, we had a local citizen that says, hey, he's willing to buy the project and do something constructive with it downtown. Do we want to let the last piece of real estate downtown just go to another county building, which we have many of them? And since I moved here in 2000, the city was a nice city till about 2005, and we had $6 million in reserve, and then all of a sudden, here we are, we have county buildings, all of a sudden we're in debt, all of a sudden we have more county influence than we care to, and I question our county supervisor because he did not even back us when we wanted to tax the mine for all of the destruction that they do to our roads. We want to tax them fairly and honestly to take care of our city and our police department. So crime rates are going to go up, Mr. Moyer, regardless of what your perception is. I would deal with facts, and I would be glad to present these facts that I have here to the
Thank you.
Inge Schuler, resident of Banning again. I took some notes on the material that was presented in the packets for the evening tonight, as well as listening to some of the comments that were made regarding the development since the packet was published online. I'm surprised to hear that Vanier was suddenly a partner with Perlman. I think that was sort of a surprise to everybody. And Vanier then is committed to build one building for the county, no taxes. And I think Councilmember Miller is right on the market there with this particular development that is planned by Vanier. We have been there before many times with previous councils. We always try to do the best for Banning, what will bring the income to Banning, improve the living conditions, the quality of life, the character, whatever the topic is, we try our best and we always get taken. This has been the pattern. You drive through town and you see plenty of evidence in there. So in essence, right now, the village at Paseo San Gorgonio, this fancy name, is a dead deal. We are done with this. The loan that was made to this gentleman was never intended or designated as being assumable, and that's what Vanier wants to do. They want to assume somebody else's loan. I did that when I bought my property, and it was a nice deal from the FHA. But this is not what we want. We don't want to finance yet another developer. We just saw what happened in Moreno Valley last week. It's absolutely disgusting that a developer comes in, gets and this is Moreno Valley, gets the approval to build this massive thing there, this design, and then he has the gall to come to mention to the council, I'm making my own words for this, I don't have the money to do all the infrastructure. I put the onus here on Moreno Valley. It's your job to do that. I mean, this is the attitude we encounter from these developers. As far as I'm concerned, they are snake oil salesmen, and we shouldn't fall for these guys. Let us not throw good money after bad and start the process again with Vanier. 4 years have passed and JMA has mucked about with creative excuses, leaving the city and her residents with a 5+ acre eyesore right in the middle of town. The background conveniently omits the $4 million the CIA paid to acquire the properties. The original zoning was downtown commercial. Then magically, with a stroke of a pen by the city manager, the zoning and some contract items changed to allow offices. And again, magic was brought to get a quite large probation department into the project, and the city manager now is gone. The zoning changes also occurred magically. Suddenly it became office. And that whole thing needs to be rescinded, tossed out, and start anew with somebody who is really honest. This sounds like the Berlin airport. This is another sort of the same kind of deal that is being done. And the decisions like the vacation of Livingston, some of those things need to be redone. Toss the entire previous project out and start anew without the past baggage, which is bound to be added to by this new magician to finish his own ends. And now I feel his only motive is, as I learned tonight, that he wants to avoid a lawsuit by the county. That's his problem. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah.
Gary Hieronymus, resident of Banning. This project's been on the books since early 2011, and Perlman has jerked this city around ever since. We spent $4 million to purchase properties to make this jewel of downtown a reality, to bring in retail shopping, restaurants, and hotel business, all of which would produce sorely needed tax revenue for the city. Then we sold it to Perlman for a measly $1 million to make that vision a reality. Great deal for him. Of course, the reality is that he didn't pay $1 million. In fact, he has yet to pay anything, which makes it an even better deal for him. We've granted multiple extensions, still no construction activity, still no payments. Worse, Perlman was able to get the project changed without council approval, without public notice, without any of the required processes, and turn it into a courthouse support complex for the probation department and the DA. Uses that will produce little to no sales tax revenue for the city and will actually discourage other businesses from locating in that project. So now how do we recoup that $3 to $4 million loss with little to no sales tax revenue? I have to ask why the probation department expansion can't take place in the old courthouse now that all of the old courtrooms are empty. Same with the DA. Or how about they purchase and build on a lot that is off the main drag, adjacent to the new courthouse? Why must it be in the one remaining downtown parcel that could actually be used for something positive for this city? A parcel that we spent $4 million on for just that purpose. Because something is better than nothing? Sorry, I don't agree. And most of the citizens of Banning don't agree either. So after years of making no payments, backroom deals changing the scope and purpose of the project, and years of extensions, Perlman, also known as JMA, is in default in his proposal to let his longtime partner Veneer take over the project and get another extension. This is a shell game. I ask you, what's the difference between Perlman and Veneer? Nothing. They have been partners in this venture almost from the beginning, and even though Perlman / JMA / Veneer / Banning Office Venture does not hold title to the property and have yet to pay a single dime on the property, have entered into not one, but 2 leases with the County of Riverside as tenants. Tenants that residents don't want there, in a building that does not exist, on a parcel they don't own, in a project that, as Miller said, was never approved to begin with. These are people who do not deserve another extension, no matter what they're calling themselves this month. Perlman, JMA, Banning Office Venture, Veneer, they're all one and the same. And they will not do what this city needs to have done with that property. They've proven that time and time again. This council needs to foreclose. And then we need to step back, take a breather, and look for a completely new developer that will actually build something that Banning can be proud of, something that will actually enhance the downtown and draw people and businesses to the area. Something that we thought we were getting back in 2011 when we agreed to tear down the historic San Gorgonio Inn and give the property away for 25 cents on the dollar.
Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Happy to see you again. Sorry it's under these circumstances. I'm not going to sit up here and repeat all of the same information that everybody has been giving you. I think it's painfully obvious. As you sit here and you listen to this, you go, how on earth is this still happening and why? And I don't care how you shake a stick at it, it looks bad on you. No matter how it goes through, it's going to look bad on you. You have somebody local that wants to develop the property, who wants to keep money local, who wants to provide the same things that were originally intended with the property, and you don't want to do that, our Chamber of Commerce should be up your butts. They should be on you every day saying, wrong, 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 wrong. Why? You're turning Banning into a welfare city. We have every government office you could possibly need out here. You want to bring some more in? Hey, George, I got a good idea. Let's put the probation office in the old Kmart right next to Sun Lakes. Let's see how that goes. See how everybody in Sun Lakes likes that. Because I tell you what, my business that I have down there, it's all about perception. And whether I have to deal with the police department here and me keeping an honest business, making sure I don't have problems there, it's perception. That's what we do. And as you sit up here right now, you're creating your own perception right now that you're in a backdoor deal with a developer. That's what the public is seeing. That's what it screams. I've heard nothing but instances of breaches of contract over and over again. What you should do is invest some money into a decent attorney who will go after these guys and get your money back that you haven't received yet. Take that money and start developing the property yourselves, if nothing else. Because this is ridiculous. Nobody in this room would ever get those kinds of deals on anything that we did. I guarantee you I wouldn't get that as a small business owner here in Banning. It's sad. I can't even get help getting a sign permit. It's costing me thousands of dollars, and I just want to put a sign up. It's ridiculous. It looks horrible. And if you guys think that by bringing in more government down here is going to attract some kind of a different clientele, you've bumped your head. You're not getting it. You can come down here every morning, like Chappie said, and you can see everybody that's been released from the jail roaming the streets. I get them showing up at my place in the morning. Hey, I just got out of jail. You're going to get more of that. You're not bringing in tons of lawyers and doctors and astute businessmen. That's not what you're bringing in. And yet, you have somebody local who's willing to develop it, who would keep the money local, who would probably use local contractors, who would generate sales revenue because it would be a for-profit business, and you're going to turn that away? And you're going to try to justify that somehow? No matter how you look at this, it's going to end badly for all of you. Your perceptions are going to be the worst they've ever been. And I rarely have negative connotations towards what any of you have done. But this is definitely going to leave a black mark. Absolutely. You need to find another job.
Thank you.
Well, I can't talk anything like those people, and I wish I could. You know, what I can talk about, and here goes the motion, because I have to eat a little humble pie today, because a few years ago I ran for your seats, okay, and I sat in Sun Lakes, and somebody called me a liar, and now I have to eat a little humble pie right now, because you know what? I agree with him. Mr. Miller, I'm sorry, because you're right. Okay, you were wrong when you called me a liar, and I'll never forget that. But I will tell you you're right today. What I see in this city is we have more per capita government social services than we have basically people. You look at our prison down there, that's going to be the largest prison probably in the entire county. Okay, you look at our prison. You look at our courthouse. You look at our public Department of Social Services, the CPS. You look at the highest range of cars in the entire area, you find them in those places. I was just down at a good friend's house down by the prison, and I must have saw 50 cop cars in 5 minutes. And you're going to bring more? That does not make sense. You know, there's a point, and I agree, you know, we do have a building here that can be retrofitted for some of the things they're asking for off our main street. But I've said from the very start of this project that I thought it was a great project because it was going to bring tax revenue and possible people wanting to buy things in our town. And we need people coming in, dropping off their money and going home, but not through a prison system. That's not the way we do it. We do it by doing good business, just like I've done in the limo business for over 20 years. Perception is actually exactly the same thing. I'm dressed today like I am because a businessman asked me something as simple as why I wasn't shaved on my day off. I'm a businessman, and I need to be presenting myself in a limo business like that always. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try and throw, you guys did a great job, I thought, down the street when I first didn't agree with it, with the little motorcycle shop that now is a beautiful structure. I didn't agree with that at first, but I see now that it was a benefit to our city. This project is not a benefit to our city with the things I've just heard on top of what I know. We need to stop, take a breath, like one of the gentlemen said, and then come back at it. There's good people in our town, and we can deal with what we do, but we're in a limited structure. We only have approximately, from some of you telling me this, about 60,000 residents possible in our community in the future. We're halfway there. But if they continue to be a higher population of county things, we're not going to have the things to support those businesses and people and things that we want here. There's some projects I think that can go forward in the future, and we have to work together. But right now, this is a precious area of our city. We can't let it go to something that may or may not, your opinion or mine. We need to make sure it's positive. We have other things to do in this town, and I think going forward, I think I'm going to be a part of that. I know I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to sit where you guys are in 2.5 years. I'm telling everybody that today. And whatever I need to do that, I'm going to do it. So, Mr. Miller, I apologize, and maybe we can have a better relationship going forward, because I know I have a hard heart toward you, sir. Nobody's ever done that in my life. And I hope that we can go forward in a positive direction for our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a point of personal privilege, I would like to apologize if I apparently I did call you a liar. I have no recollection of that. That's not my type of language. I don't know how it occurred, but I apologize for it. I don't know what else to say. I have no recollection of it. But again, I apologize.
Going to. Mayor, council members, David Ellis. First thing is, how many of you council members have gone down and really talked to the business owners on the east side of town where the county buildings are? I walked door to door the other day. Majority of them tell you the county does squat for them. They want freebies. They come into the gas station and they want free ice and they get mad. They don't buy their gas there. They don't buy their cigarettes. They don't buy their booze. So, rethink this county deal bringing in money. We've had a courthouse, criminal courthouse here for years. Mr. Perlman said, I want to wait and see what the courthouse brings in. It brings in the perception of criminals. Now, another thing I want to know, and nobody's even talked about this, number one, this note is delinquent right now. And you're talking about negotiating with a delinquent note and deal. And number two, has the Department of Finance been involved in any of your negotiations? Have you included them in this? Or have you talked to the Controller's office about this? It seems like the three of you are so eager to go against what the people of this community want. I don't know what the reasoning is, why you sit here and why you're so in favor of a project that the community doesn't want. And as Diego said, shame on you. Shame on you. The Planning Commission, I'm a planning commissioner, we never got to talk about this new extension or anything. Why not? Why don't you include everybody? Because it's a backdoor deal. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. Except for Mr. Miller. He hit the nail right on the head. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eddie Gear. I just want to point out, Mayor, you were at my church last week. It's nice to have you there. Not any of my people at the church are approving of this project. You need to hear the people of this town and listen to them. Step back, guys. I just barely started coming here listening to this. Who makes deals like that? Maybe you guys should read Donald Trump's books, The Art of the Deal.
Thank you.